just open the matrix a bit more within that space. Each time I do it, I'm going beyond his normal threshold of balance, and he recenters himself and just feels that state, pays attention to it, and he owns it through attentiveness. I open it a bit more, and you take ownership. Okay, so these field effects, we want to run a wave of each element and then open the field of each element. And depending on what effect you want within your partner, now we use breaking balance as a measurement of success. And for a beginner, they need evidence so they don't have doubt. And because doubt and thinking too much and making excuses how it could be happening for some other behaviorally conditioned reason gets in the way. So let's say if you're working with air element and you put a wave air element through and your partner floats and you put a field effect and they float, it's kind of like, so what? What magical use is making people float with air element? It's just something to develop a base level understanding of energy. Then you look at the qualities of air element for skill development. If a person's musical and you want to amplify their musical skill, you use air element in the astral body to open it up and connect into that inner genius of music that's in their unconscious that seeks to express itself, and you release those matrices so that part of them flowers, and then they get genuine value out of that exercise. So you always want to have a look at, when you've gone past the level of just breaking someone's balance, what are the higher values for these exercises? How do you improve the quality of someone's life after that exercise that you just did? Because breaking their balance doesn't improve the quality of their life. It's just a learning exercise. And when you read through the Kabbalah book, you have a whole range of different frequencies and different types of effects. And whether you've learnt Kabbalah or not actually doesn't matter. They're kind of like indicators of, oh, that can be done. How do I open matrices to make it happen? You may not even learnt the colors or the sounds or anything. They're just frequencies or tuning forks. And the Kabbalah book has organized them into a type of dictionary of techniques. And those ideas can be utilized without knowing Kabbalah. You just have to know it's possible and access, tune into the frequencies. Now, with air element, there's a part of the mind that understands how to do all this stuff. The unconscious knows how this works. I mean, it's keeping your heart beating. It's the evolutionary process of body consciousness is amazing. It's really intelligent. And what we want to do is look at how to open up a connection between spirit and body, to synchronize the body consciousness with spirit. And air element is the energetic principle that does that. So this exercise, we're going to touch our partner, we're just going to invite air element into them, but the intention is to awaken the higher self. Now, I don't like to use the word self, but a lot of people relate better to it because they can identify with it as being a part of them. But it's more, in reality, a fabric of consciousness that is in alignment with the universal principles and laws. So when you are in alignment with it, the mind goes, yeah, I understand this, I got it, I know what to do. There's a part of the insight mind. Now, this field is so vast that it includes all technologies, all chemistry, all biology, everything that's evolved in the universe is a part of this field. And it's so vast, you can't connect to all of it. So you want to put a magnifying glass specifically on something that you want to unpack, awaken, and open. And Hermetics is lawfulness. What laws are regulating your spiritual development process and how to align to those laws. So that type of insight mind is in the center of gravity of the mental body. And when you connect to the center of gravity of the mental body and open the air element, I'll use the word awaken, and then it'll be in relation to whatever we are doing. So if, let's say, you're teaching a person how to float someone, you connect into the air element, you connect to the person's center of gravity of the mental body, you reflect on the drill, and then you say awaken on that drill, and then goes from an unconscious state to a conscious state, and the person goes, yeah, I got that. And you project it. When you're projecting it through touch, whatever you know, they know, because the information is highly conductive through touch. When you're putting it into a room, it's about 10% of the strength of touch. It's there, but nowhere near as strong. It's a bit like empty force. Get your hands on someone, you can shoot them across the room. If you're doing it with a soft touch, you've got 10% of your power or less available to you with just energy. And same thing. So if you really want to transmit something to someone really powerfully, you've got to put your hands on them and touch and transmit the information to them. Now, in order for them to accept that information, you want to open up the center of gravity of the mental body. So the mental body aligns to whatever that information is. But for the moment, what we're going to do is just practice opening up the center of gravity of the mental body in a bit more of a universal way, and just allow information to arise within that person's consciousness that is needed for them. So it's nothing specific. It's just let that inner genius awaken to their individualized spiritual path. Now, awaken is a good word, but you can use whatever word you want for that meaning. It's yours, and it's a ritual you develop for yourself. The key here is you want to go to the center of balance of consciousness, not just the center of balance of body. Now, if you're guiding a meditation, you don't want the person to lose balance. You want them to keep balance in an expanded state of consciousness. So where we're normally disrupting balance so that you can learn how it works, now we want to increase space while maintaining balance so the person can take ownership of whatever you're doing. It's actually necessary for a guided meditation, but not necessary for a transmission. If you're doing a transmission, the person can lose balance and fall over, that's fine. But if you're guiding a person through a skill that they're taking ownership in the moment of guiding them and they're practicing it, you want them to be centered, not unbalanced. So what tends to happen if you do too much work where you're unbalancing people, you unbalance your students during a guided meditation, they don't get it. They might get it later, but not right there and then. So they won't take ownership as quickly as they could. So with this exercise, what we're going to do is borrow you for a moment. We're going to touch the base. I'm going to feel the space around, open it up, but then I'm going to keep them centered as I open. So open a bit more, holding them in the middle physically. And now we've got it out to about here. So it's a decent level. So now what I want you to do is be aware of that open space, arm reach around you, and just relax your element into that space, take ownership without changing your body mechanics. Good, yeah. Now, I keep that space, and I just open the matrix a bit more within that space. Each time I do it, I'm going beyond his normal threshold of balance, and he recenters himself, and just feels that state, pays attention to it, and he owns it through attentiveness. I open it a bit more, and you take ownership. And you take ownership. So now we're just opening primarily from the mental body, opening the mental astral and physical bodies. And after about a dozen or so openings, then you feel the center of gravity of the mental body. And then as you release the mental body open, that's when you'll say awaken. And if there's a particular frequency of awakening that you want to work on, then you would add that into it. If it's awakened to an idea, a principle, a dharma, whatever you're working on. In this case, I'm just awakening alignment to a spiritual path. Now, normally you just ask your partner to sit after you've done this, so you have a chair behind your partner. Now, from that layer, I just want you to keep your balance, but keep the energy open. And as soon as you feel comfortable to walk, you can get back to your seat.